Guyanese Vice President Dr. Bharrat JAGDEO has moved to clarify the current 10% tariff levied on Guyanese exports to the United States, following initial concerns over a much higher 38% reciprocal tariff. On April 9, the Donald Trump administration announced a 90-day suspension of additional tariffs beyond the base 10% tariff, which applies uniformly to all countries. Previously, Guyana faced a steep 38% reciprocal tariff on its exports, putting its products at a significant disadvantage. Speaking at a recent press conference, Dr. JAGDEO expressed gratitude for the temporary relief, emphasizing that the reprieve provides a critical window for ongoing negotiations with the U.S.
We are grateful for the reprieve of 90 days on the reciprocal tariff. And I see there was a confusion between the 10% and the 30%. I said the 10%, however, will be applicable to all countries and all goods going into the U.S., and it's currently in force, and therefore our exporters would have to pay the 10% tariff, or the importers would have to pay of Guyanese products will have to pay the 10% tariff.
With the recent 90-day suspension, Guyana is now on an equal footing with all other countries facing reciprocal tariffs by the United States. The Vice President says the real threat would have been if Guyana had been subjected to the previously discussed 38% reciprocal tariff, a much higher figure that could have placed significant strain on local industries.
However, that this doesn't place our exporters at a competitive disadvantage, given every country will have to pay the 10% tariff going in. So if you are exporting bananas from the DR, and they would have to pay the 10%, and we export banana, we'd have to pay 10% too. So it tends to cancel out in terms of losing competitive ground. However, if we had to pay the 38% reciprocal tariff and they were paying 10%, it would put them at a competitive disadvantage. But we got a reprieve of 90 days, and we are convinced that we can discuss this with the U.S. government.
That was Vice President of Guyana, Dr. Bharrat JAGDEO.